impact news events, because that's where it's going to be highly manipulated. We're waiting for those opportunities where the market just wonderfully invites the retail trader to step into a snare. That's why we're waiting for those high impact or medium impact news driver days. Not FOMC, not CPI, but anything other, not non-farm payroll either, but any other event, medium or high impact. We love those days. We love those days because we know the retail trader is about to get sacrificed on the altar of trading. And you can have a moral dilemma with that if you want. I don't have a moral dilemma because I paid my dues. Everybody is a card-carrying loser when they come in this industry. That's just the way it is. And the smart ones learn how to lose professionally the rest of their life. They manage losing. That's what consistently profitable trading is. Every profitable student, every profitable trader, every profitable speculator is a professional loser. They know when to take their losses because their winners are going to run. They're going to let them do that. The people that don't survive in this industry are the ones that are trying to be professional winners, and it's the only thing they expect. And by default, they lose, and they end it for themselves. They really lose. They lose their account. They lose the ability to trade and speculate because they lose their mind. At some point, you might have a lot of money. You might have a lot of money. Say, you know what? If I blow a couple of accounts, it's okay. If I blow these funded accounts, all I got to do is reset. Okay. For some of you, there's going to be a time where you've done it too many times now, and you know it's a waste. You want it so bad, but you can't do it. And you won't spend any more money on it. You just won't. And they sometimes are the people that are begging people, buy me a funded account. I know there's people there that can't afford it, but there are some that just can't bring it to themselves to pay for one more because they know what they're going to do with it. And they're going like a drug addict. Come on, man, give me another bump. Come on, man, give me some spare change. I need to get on the bus. What you're doing is you're trying to get some scratch so you can get another dose of heroin. You're an addict. The wrong kind of addict. Around here, look at that fox. Wow. No, that's not a woman I'm talking about either. I'm talking about a four-legged animal. Wow. That's pretty. And that took me out of what I was saying. But anyway, it's 20 minutes after 10. I've been going for almost 2.5 hours. Fuck it. Let's end it at 10:30. Make it round it up. We got 11 more minutes, right? So I'm hoping that in all this rambling tonight, I'm reaching some of you because the things I put you through in studying and observing things, I know what you want. You want me to tell you the trades that are moving and get you into it so you can make money because you think that's what you need. And I want you to be able to do this when I'm not here. And the only way that's going to happen is to teach you the proper way of doing it and also put you in the charts for homework. Your homework is every day backtesting and looking. Backtesting isn't necessarily, my version of backtesting is not equivalent to what everybody else talks about. Backtesting is a casual view of previously traded price data that you can't participate in. Okay, mock trading is going back to those moves and market replay, maybe a simulator, something like that. That's mock trading. There's a place for that. But my point of backtesting is there validity behind the setups I'm telling you to look for? And where does your eye gravitate to? So you're backtesting the repeating phenomenon of a individual PD array. So you go through the process of going through old data and say, okay, I'm going to look for breakers. How many times does a breaker form? On what time frame over the course of the last 16 weeks, last 12 weeks, okay? And you look at how much time it took for that market to deliver to a level that I teach you to look for. So if you're going short, you want to reach into a discount array. Old low for sell side or old imbalance below whatever the equivalent would be for the range you're in. Vice versa if you're going long. And you're going through and you're writing down a list of how many you see, how much movement there was, how much drawdown there was. And when you're doing that, what are you doing? You're drawing up an affinity for that pattern. because you're spending time looking at it. Just like when you were at the car lot and you looked around, you saw all those dogs of a car, and you saw that one that just, it had to go home with you. That was the one. Well, you're doing that. You're walking around that car lot by looking at these old price data, and you're going to find that just beautiful cherry of a drive. You just want to have that one, take it home. And yes, it breaks your heart if somebody says it's ugly, but fuck them. You love it. It's your car. Well, that's the same thing with your trading pattern. Everybody's going to have an opinion about it. Oh, it's stupid. This is so much better. I make more money than this, but they ain't ever going to show you that. Bottom line is everybody's got an opinion. Like to have an asshole. Who cares? Nobody gives a fuck. You didn't ask, don't ask them. Don't let anybody give you any input either. Which is why your trading journal should not be on social media. But many of you treat Twitter, Instagram, all that shit as your trading journal. And you're inviting toxicity. Don't do those things. Don't do those things. Because the only thing you're doing by doing that is inviting somebody else that is ass tore up. They have no profitability. They have no clout. They have no following. They have no happiness. They're miserable pieces of shit. And they want nothing more than to make you feel miserable too. And they'll love doing it. So don't invite that. Don't allow for it. Keep the focus on the things I'm telling you to do, which are boring in the beginning. But I promise you, if you go through the process of looking at old data, and once you find that thing that makes the most sense to you, what thing is that? It might be the fair value gap. It might be the breaker. It might be the optimal trade entry. It might be institutional order flow entry drill. It's whatever pattern that your personality aligns with. And you can make money with that one thing and never do anything else with the shit I've taught. Think. Bob Ross. He did most of his painting with the big brush, the small fan, and a little detail pen. Not pen, but detailed brush. He had lots of brushes. But most of his work was done with those 3 particular brushes. Go to an art store, there's an arsenal of brushes. I couldn't tell you what the hell those things are for. I'm sure they're specialty for something. But imagine that brush is your PD array. It does a specific thing. You only need one thing to do a specific thing, which is what? Profit. You have to have a multiplier, a reason to get in. What's the catalyst that puts you into a trade? That's all you're looking for in the beginning. But you have to decide what that is. I can't push that on you, which is what everybody fucking does in their other shit. Here's my MACD. Here's my settings for my moving averages. This is the harmonic pattern. This is the thing that is going to overlay above the highs and below the lows. It's going to tell you to be a buyer or seller. That's pressing you into a mold. You don't know the logic behind some of that shit that's being utilized. You don't know what's making it do it. So how can you trust it? You can't build an affinity like when you go to that car lot and you buy a car and you drive off, you have an affinity for that car. You're driving it. It means something to you. You can see it everywhere now. You think everybody's driving your car. You come out of the grocery store and you think that someone moved your fucking car. It's just somebody else bought that same car. Your attention span is dialed on that one thing. It means something to you. You need to make this be meaningful to you. I can't do that by talking to you in a video. I can't do that by me trading the setups. It might be entertaining. I might have a good choice of music when I'm sharing it. That's fine. I might not. The music's for me. It's not for you. But that execution is not to inspire you on that one setup. It's to broaden your understanding that we're not limited to one setup. And there's setups a lot. And I can engage them and you will be able to do it too. But in the beginning, you need to give yourself the opportunity to find what it is that your personality is best equipped for. And any educator that tries to press your ass into this is the only way to do it, where I'm telling you, the only way to perceive price being delivered is the way I'm telling you it should, because anything else it's contrived. It's all bullshit. It's conjecture that doesn't have any rooted truth behind it. I'm explaining to you before the market does what it's doing. So that's how you know you can trust me. Whether you believe there's an algorithm or not, I'll leave it to you to wrestle with how is it I'm doing it. I've already told you what it is that I'm doing. If you choose not to believe, that's fine. You don't need to subscribe to the algorithm theory. If you look for the pattern and you think it's going to unfold this way based on what I'm teaching you directionally, you don't need to have an algorithm in your head. You don't have to subscribe to it. You don't have to be a part of the religious cult that we have here. Okay? You don't need to be a card-carrying member of the cult, okay? You can still trade my stuff and not be a cult member. So just relax. But you have to give yourself the chance, the real chance, to do this without having any outward forcing. Like, I'm not manipulating any of you to do any one particular approach to trading. Notice I haven't done that. And when you go through the core content, guess what it does? It gives you the opportunity to decide where you want to be. Do you want to be a long-term trader? Do you want to be a swing trader? A short-term trader? You're going to trade a daily range? Or are you going to be a scalper? The decisions are up to you. And you have to bring that to this you do. And because there's so many of you, I'm not going to meet you. I can't sit down and answer everybody's fucking email. And I have students that paid me. And years ago, they were mad. They were mad as shit. Like, you should be. I can't. Think about it. I put out a tweet. In minutes, there's 200 likes and comments. Like, it's to show you, literally, when I opened up my comments on my YouTube channel, you thought I was afraid of people saying shit. I'm here on Twitter where people can say anything they fucking want. But it's a sugar fest. And everybody wants me to answer their questions. And I can't physically do that. I'm one person. I only got so many minutes in a day. And I spent a lot already with you. So you have to be doing something. And that is going through the things I tell you to do and trust that the process will give you what you're looking for. But you'll be so much more pleased when you have decided on your end, the model, the approach, how you're going to approach the marketplace as a trader. And you brought that to this. I just gave you the tools. You decided what you're going to do. And it's very rewarding because you feel like it's yours. Yes, I taught you how to trade. Yes, I taught you these techniques and concepts. But your model is the model that you're going to create. And when you start making fucking money with that, and you tell Carl to pound fucking sand, you're out of here. Enjoy working, bitch. I'm out of here. Every day's a fucking weekend to me now. Fuck off. That type of mentality is going to be easy for you to obtain. Not that you should have that mentality and that brash and rude, but for some of you, you can't wait to tell Carl to fuck himself. When you do this on your own and you've made that model from your own hard work, you put all the blood, sweat, and tears, the effort, you work through all of your uncertainties, your doubts, and you have done it yourself, it's so rewarding. It's so fucking rewarding because you didn't learn it in a fucking book. ICT didn't lay it out for you like I did the 2022 model. There's nothing wrong with that model, but you have decided that this is what you're going to do using what was been taught to you. It's yours. You fucking earned it. You earned it. Nobody can take it away. Nobody can minimize it. Who gives a fuck what they fucking think about me, the community, the concepts? You think you're going to give a fuck? Seriously, think about this. If you're not profitable yet, are you going to give a flying fuck what anybody fucking thinks about what you're doing when you don't work anymore? When you have money in the bank that you don't have right now, is it going to fucking bother you how people talk about me? No. No, you're not going to give a fuck. And that's the right mindset. You're here to learn how to fucking trade. You're not here to protect me from assholes that have little dick complexes. You're here to learn how to trade, make money, find a model, and get on business with fucking making your life better than it is. Touch base every now and then when you got a chance. Send me a fucking postcard. There it is. There's no tethering to me. Just this year. That's it. Once you get your wings, fly, baby. I want to see how high you can go. I can't wait to see you do it. But you got to do the things I tell you to do. You have to. There's no way to do it other than that. You can't fumble your way through it. And it's going to require you to do work. And that means go through the charts, see things in price action and data that you can't trade. You're not even pushing a button on demo. Nothing like that. Not even trade simulators. You have to go through the process of finding what it is that makes sense to you out of what I'm teaching as a PD array. That's your first step. Because I already taught you how to find the draw on liquidity, and I'm giving that to you all year long. That will happen by default. You'll learn that because you're being exposed to it. That's the only way you did it. That's what happens. That's why I taught paid mentorships where they had to spend the entire year with me. They will see, they saw, it's documented. Nobody can change it. Nobody can say it didn't happen. It fucking happened year after year after year. Now you're seeing it on a minute by minute basis. So again, if it was fraud, you'd fucking know it by now. But that PD array, that multiplier, that entry pattern, that concept of getting in, you need to decide what that is. You need to decide that. Nobody can make that decision for you because I can't make you see a mitigation block. I can't see how I could go into the charts and make you see a breaker if you just can't understand a run on liquidity and a shift in market structure. There's two minimal criteria that have to be there for that to be a breaker. And if you don't understand liquidity or where people put trading stop losses and how they might look at the marketplace as a potential breakout, you won't understand a breaker. You won't understand it. You can see me pointing to it, but it means nothing to you. Why? Because you haven't studied old data enough to say, oh yeah, look what happens there. And you have to look at the chart and question, before this move happened, who was long and who was short? And if they were long or short, where was their stop loss at? And then reverse engineer all the price movements, because that's what I did, folks. That's what I was doing on America Online. I was literally going back through old data and I was looking for things that I'm teaching you. And when I started doing things and calling the market like that, I got noticed because it was too consistent. And I'm certain, I'm absolutely fucking certain, okay, that people are watching me do this on Twitter and they're watching me do it on a live stream, and I'm calling shit so precisely on a minute by minute basis. They're questioning, how the fuck am I doing this? I have to be doing this with magic. I have to be doing some kind of trickery. There has to be something going on. And the wonderful thing is you're all watching with real-time data and it's happening. And I'm leaving no excuse except for foresight. It's not hindsight, it's foresight. And you won't be able to do that unless you've done all the back testing, which is simply just looking at old moves and studying them. You're not trying to trade them. You're just observing how often does it form, how quickly does it move into profit, and how much drawdown would it be. And you're logging that. And you're putting down, okay, this market on this date, it did this. It moved this much to profitability. This is how much it had in drawdown, and it's how much time it took to trade. And then you're going to get a running total or an average of how many points or pips, whatever market you're looking at, on average, collectively, cumulatively, you'll see that. And then you'll also see what's your maximum losing trade that you saw in that sample set, and what was your maximum profit trade. Throw both of them out. Then average what you have there. And that'll give you a pretty good idea as a baseline. If that was going to be your model, this is what you, because you can't say that would have been my best trade, I would have got that. Take that out. And your worst trade, what was potentially your worst trade, you probably would have not had your entire stock taken out because you could be doing partials. So you got to take both those numbers out. Don't even factor them in. Now, some of you might argue and say, no, I can understand taking your best winning trade out, but you got to leave the worst trade in there. You're talking from a perspective that you want to wreck your fucking self. I'm not taking on ridiculous risk. I'm not trading to try to save face on live streams, okay? I'm not doing that. I'm trying to take measured, calculated risks. And if the trade is going to go bad, generally, most times, I'm going to see it's probably not going to be there. And I start doing that too. The 3-minute rule of it's got to start talking to me right now and be in my favor, or I'm going to start taking some of the trade off or close it all away. I have tools for all those things. You don't see these other traders out there that are trying to teach you. They don't have that shit. They're just reacting.